Hello students, this is Mr. Damiani, and today we're going to be looking at lesson 3.9 in the chapter 3 Go Math workbook. I'm going to teach this lesson from page 191, so we're going to skip a bunch of the kind of guided and modeled examples for today's lesson. I'm just going to teach you from the share and show and the on your own practice. So make sure you're all set, ready to go, pencils sharpened and on point. And here's the essential question for today. The essential question is, how do you find distance on the coordinate plane? So what we're going to be doing is finding the distance between a pair of points on the coordinate plane. Now, if you are putting your eyeballs here on this grid below, if I want to find the distance between 2 points, it could be as simple as counting your lines. So if I'm going from here to here, and I want to know how far that is, 1, 2, 3, 4, bang, I can count lines. However, you're not always going to be given a grid to find these points. We may just give you the 2 ordered pairs and say, hey, find the distance between these lines. So you're going to have to come up with a strategy to be able, or between these points. So you're going to have to come up with a strategy to be able to figure that out. And that's what I'm here to give you today. So let's go ahead and get this party started. I'm going to go ahead and erase that so I got a nice clean grid to use. And let's look at our set of directions. Find the distance between the pair of points. So I'm looking to find the distance between 2 ordered pairs. We have the ordered pairs -3, 1 and 2, 1. And if you notice this, we are looking at 2 points that have the same exact y value. So this means that they are running horizontal because they're on the same y number, which is going to run parallel to that x-axis. So we have a horizontal distance. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take -3, 1, and we're going to find out how far it is to the y-axis, which means we are going to focus our attention on the x values. All right, so we're going to take the absolute value of -3, and we know that the absolute value of -3 is 3. And now we're going to look at the 2, 1 horizontal distance, and we're going to use the 2. So I want the absolute value of 2, and that's going to give me the 2. Now I notice that I have one of these points that falls in the second quadrant and one that falls in the first quadrant. Remember what our quadrants look like: 1, 2, 3, and 4, Roman numerals. So I have points that are located in different quadrants. So we're going to add their absolute values. So 3 plus 2 equals 5. All right, now if I didn't have all this jazz here guiding me up, this is the thought process that I would go through, and I'm going to do that in green here. And I want you to just take a peek at what I'm doing. All right, so let's start with our ordered pairs: -3, 1, and 2, 1. And say I did not have a grid anywhere near me, and I just had to graph these points, or I had to find the distance between these 2 points. In my mind, what I would do right now is I would ignore the 1s because they are on the same line and they're the same values. I'm going to focus my attention on this -3 and this 2. I take the absolute value of the -3, I get 3. I take the absolute value of the 2, and I get 2. And I say to myself, are they in the same quadrant or are they in different quadrants? So if they are different quadrants, we will always add. So 3 plus 2 equals the 5. If they would have been in the same quadrant, we would have subtracted. Same, subtract. All right, so let's go ahead and move on down to number 2. Number 2 gives me the point of 2, 1 and 2, -4. Now, if I had the grid in front of me, I would jump over to my grid and I'd say, okay, where's 2, 1? And I put my pencil there. And I'd say, okay, where's 2, -4? Put my pencil there. And I would jump lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bang, answer's 5. So I already know my answer should be 5. However, if that grid is not with me, okay, not with me, we have to go through a process. And I'm going to show you that again. So let's get started. Let's go to my red pen here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross out the numbers that are the same. I'm not going to work the 2, and I'm not going to work this 2. I'm going to focus my attention on the 1 and negative 4. And I'm going to take the absolute value of 1 and the absolute value of negative 4. Oh, let me write that correctly. I was going to give you my, that eraser doesn't want to work for me today. Let's do this one again here. So I'm going to take the absolute value of the negative 4. And we know the absolute value of 1 is 1, and the absolute value of negative 4 is 4. And now, I notice I have a positive here, and I have a positive negative here. And I know they are in different quadrants. And remember, different quadrants, we are going to add. The absolute value of 1 plus the absolute value of 4 gives me a distance of 5 units on the coordinate plane. All right, let's go over to question 3 here. We're going to ignore the grid completely, and we're going to focus just on applying absolute value to find distance on the coordinate plane. So here goes. I have a 2, negative 4 and a 4, negative 4. All right, so I notice that right now my signs, if I'm just going to jump and look at my symbols, I have a positive and a negative. Here I have a positive and a negative. So that tells me my signs match. I am in the same quadrant. All right, so we are all located here in quadrant positive, negative, which is quadrant 4. And you can make a note of that, just remembering, how to identify where points are located on the coordinate plane. All right, so here we go. I told you before, knock out the numbers that are the same. I'm going to do that in blue. Bang, bang. I'm going to focus my attention on the 2 and the 4. Absolute value of 2 equals 2. Absolute value of 4 equals 4. We are in the same quadrant. If you're in the same quadrant, then that means you subtract. Same, subtract. And I have to always put my larger number first. 4 minus 2 equals 2. So my distance here is 2. So biggest thing that you're going to want to remember for your summary. All right, if we're going to talk summary here. One of the things that you're just going to really have to remember. If you are in different quadrants, all right, if you are in different quadrants, then that means you will always add your absolute values. If you are in the same quadrant, then you will always subtract absolute value. All right, so that's really what you have to remember to keep this stuff straight. All right, let's look at question 4. If you look at question 4, I have a negative 3, comma 3, and a negative 3, comma 1. What I'd like you to do is go ahead and try to pause the video, complete this one on your own, and then I'll walk you through the process just to review it. Thank you. All right, thanks for taking the time to pause the video here. First thing I want to do is identify my signs. I have a negative, positive, and a negative, positive. So that tells me that I am in the same quadrant. And I'm going to cross off my negative 3's because they are the same, meaning they have the same x value. And I'm going to look at the 3 and the 1. So I go ahead and take the absolute value of 3, which is 3, the absolute value of 1, which is 1. And I say, okay, they are the same quadrant. So I am going to subtract 3 minus 1. And these 2 points are 2 units apart. All right, let's go ahead and move on down to the on your own portion here. And you'll notice it says graph the pair of points, then find the distance between them. We're not going to graph them, okay? I want you to go ahead and find the distance between them using what we just practiced. So I'd like you to go ahead and circle question 5 and question 8, and I'd like you to go ahead and find the distance between those 2 points. Go ahead and pause it up. Thank you. All right, I'd like you to go ahead and check your answers with mine. Okay, and then, oh, sorry, phone is ringing. I'm going to pause the video real quick. Sorry about the phone ring there, folks. Go ahead and pause the video and complete question 6. Oh, no, sorry, not 6. Question 9. Question 9. Go ahead and circle 9. Complete question 9 for me. All right, go ahead and check your answers with mine. You'll notice on question 9 we have points that are located within the same quadrant, so I subtracted the absolute values of the different numbers in our y location. All right, so when you write your summaries up for this, you're going to want to focus on when do you add, when do you subtract absolute value to find the distance between the points. All right, so thank you for taking the time to watch the video. Make sure we write a good solid summary, and it would probably be very helpful in this situation to include an example of each type of problem, one where you add, one where you subtract. So I think that really strengthen those summaries. Other than that, hope everybody has a fantastic weekend and look forward to getting back to work on this on Monday. Goodbye.